and welcome to the latest video with me, Rebecca Gillard, and joined by Richard Walker.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, Richard. So this is now the top 8 cut of the Brighton charity joust. We've got James Waumsley, aka Wamma, on the left, playing Greyjoy Winter, and Daniel Kaye on the right, playing Night's Watch Lion.
Yep.
So, Richard, any feedback or information about these decks?
I don't know, but first of all, did I notice that Call of Cthulhu deck, mat, that James is playing on? Where's his Game of Thrones mat? He'd be ashamed of himself, really.
He's not really meeting the standard of Game of Thrones, really, though, is
Sort it out, James.
Although he is displaying the cross keys card there. You can see the shield of the 2 cross keys. That's to do with their London meta, isn't it?
London meta, yeah. They quite like their sigil. They're very proud of it.
And Dan, I believe, supporting the Gloss Night's Watch card.
Not only that, he's got a granite house card, which I think was made by that Friggs Forge and Foundry place in America. Sent to him by Cincinnati Joe. Dan, yeah, he likes these little granite house cards. Big fan, isn't he?
Well, I was pointing out the other card actually because that was part of the prize support for the Brighton charity joust.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah, and they had an auction for whoever wanted the card, and I know Joe Zimmer particularly wanted that one.
Either that or who was driving the price up.
No, I was told by Gabby that he really, really wanted that one.
Sorry, Joe. Dan beat you to it.
He definitely did. Dan was right in there. Definitely wanted that card.
Deal with your bitterness, Joe. Don't let it consume you.
And bid over £40 to go towards the charity pot. So yeah,
very
well done,
generous, Dan.
Yeah.
So Dan went to Batalla.
He did.
Batalla por el Muro this weekend. Big event in Spain. And Dan took this deck, Night's Watch Lion, which you can also find out more on the Night of the Black Waters channel, where Dan talked with Ben about his deck. So, you know, go check that out. I'm sure it's a good listen, and I haven't actually listened to it myself yet, but I'm sure it's wonderful. I will get to it after this.
Daniel Kaye is always brilliant to listen to anyway. He's a very, very funny guy. Really lovely.
He's good fun, isn't he?
He is. Yeah.
He is lit.
Oh, God.
What?
Some might say he's a Lord of Lit.
He is the Lord of Lit. But that's another conversation.
It may be.
So these guys have mulliganed.
They have.
They have, right?
Yes.
Because I've just realised we're 3 minutes in and I haven't looked at the screen yet.
That's fine, don't worry, I've been paying attention.
Good. So they've mulliganed, it's all good. Dan's shuffling, James is watching.
Well, I'll give some insight while you're waffling.
Okay.
So Dan did mention, James very cheekily asked Dan what his hand would have been, because Dan took a little while to decide whether he wanted to mulligan or not. And Dan did reveal that he had Arranging Party, Relentless Assault, The Hound.
Relentless Assault, he told him that.
He did, which I was surprised he told him.
Actually, I think
King's
Wamma
Road.
already knows Dan's deck, so.
Ah, okay, that's fair enough. And a King's Road, I can't remember the other items that he said was in there, but Dan said, you know, he could have set up Arranging Party, The Hound, and King's Road, but he did say that based on what James's deck is trying to do, he felt like he would prefer to try and get some other cards in hand.
I should also point out that not only does Wamma know Dan's deck, Dan knows Wamma's deck. So they're both quite familiar with each other's deck. So they each know what the other is going to try to do.
Why is that? Were they playtesting or?
There may have been some sort of, you know, group conversation and, you know, deck sharing going on.
Okay, that's fair enough. So I'm looking at the setups here, and I'm not sure to say they're optimal for either player. We've got James on the right's got an Asher, a Lord Sport Shipwright, but no economy, and he's obviously only spent 7 gold's worth of the 8 he has available for him for this setup. And then on Dan's side, he's just got Tyrion, leaving a bit open to March, plus the Rose Road and the White Tree. I mean, Rose Road and White Tree are probably quite nice in this game, and still a bit of James's economy back off of him, but, you know, you might be worried here about March, do you think?
Probably not. Oh, James is probably more susceptible to March, because if he does play March, you know, Dan playing White Tree, So he's only going to get 3 gold unless he's got other economy. Furthermore, if Dan's playing White Tree, he's probably playing meager contribution.
Very true. Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to be left with 2 gold, having with 1 character left on the board. So I wouldn't have thought he'd play Marched.
Yeah.
But Dan probably feels like he can come back quite nicely if James played March.
Okay.
What have they played?
So we've got Barring the Gates on James's side to Dan's Time of Plenty. So Barring the Gates being quite a new plot card. Can you just explain to us what it does?
Card abilities cannot cause characters to enter play.
So with Dan playing Night's Watch Lion, which does have a lot of jumping characters, for example, Burn Men, the Hound,
Ari,
yeah. This is obviously sort of a direct counter to what Dan's playing here. Dan playing a summer plot to try and counter the winter, and also allows him to draw an extra card. So although it's winter, Dan won't be receiving less gold this turn because the summer counteracts that. However, the reserve value is still lowered by 1 as a continual effect of the winter agenda.
Yeah, what's the reserve on Barring the Gates?
I think it's relatively low.
Is it
Around
5? 5 less 1.
Yeah, so he's
reserve of 4, so he's going to have 9 cards in hand. No, he's going to have 10 cards in hand because of the Time of Plenty.
Don't think he's going to get that many cards out though, is he?
So yeah, James has got to spend 6 cards on
5 gold?
5 gold, unless he has more economy.
Yeah, I mean it's possible that a maximum he could get up to with the King's Road would therefore be 7, right?
Yeah, but then we also have the White Tree.
Yes, very true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it's looking, like a difficult start for James. Dan, we don't know what he's got in hand. He got a lot of options at least. 6 gold's worth of options plus Tyrion money to earn in challenges.
Yeah, also had the Rose Road, so he had 7 gold's worth in total there. Yeah, I mean he's obviously just sort of having to think here, doing the math. He's knelt his Night's Watch reducer, so he's preparing to pay for something with the Night's Watch, so reducing by 1 there, and he's just putting out an Ocean Road in preparation by the looks of it.
But Ocean Road will then reduce all of his Lion cards.
Yeah.
I'd assume he's running Treachery.
Yeah, you'd assume so. Well, actually no. Is Treachery loyal?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
He is almost definitely running Treachery. I may have seen the list, and he is definitely running Treachery.
Okay.
And I saw the card earlier in his hand, which allowed me to speak with great confidence.
See, I was thinking, it's a Lion banner, so there might not be so many unique Lion characters to play Treachery with. I must admit, when I was making decks, I used to forget about that a lot, that I needed to have a unique Lion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's knelt the reducer Chud earlier, and then playing out
Corwin.
So we've also got there the Burned Men. He needs to pay the 1 for that though. Yeah, there we go. Because he obviously can't use Burned Men this challenge phase because of Barring the Gates. So he might as well get a bit of claim sake out, in case he's worried about any extra kill in that.
So you've got 7 strength for military on the board. Effectively 2 claim with Corwin because there's a Lord Port Shipwright on there who will get killed before claim.
Can you remind us of his ability again?
He kills things.
Non-unique
things.
So when Corwin's attacking, even if it's in a power challenge as well, I think this counts.
I think it's just military.
Is it?
Yeah, I think when he's attacking in a military challenge.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Oh, I might be thinking of Timit.
He's got renown though. Oh yeah, Timit. Yeah.
Timit's the one where it's either challenge. Yeah, so if you're attacking with military with Corwin, if you win the challenge, then you can kill a non-unique character. Has it got any other limitations?
I think it's equal to lower than Corwin's strength.
Is it strength?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it would be cost, considering that does not change. So why would you?
Like the
it's definitely strength.
We'll go with what he said.
I played with this card a lot. Can you tell?
we love playing Night's Watch, don't we?
Yeah. I try not to, but when I speak to Dan, he's so enthusiastic about Night's Watch. You kind of have to humour him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But
so we've got an intrigue challenge there. Dan collecting the 2 gold from Tyrion's reaction, putting it on Tyrion. So you can just see that there, and he stealthed past the Lord. I can't say it.
Lord Port Shipwright.
That's one. going unopposed, taking claim of a relentless assault.
Yep.
Oh, so they're both playing them. So that's the first challenge done.
Of course, you probably gathered by now that both of these decks are quite aggressive. They both want to impose themselves upon you. They're quite, aggro-based. Greyjoy Winter you've seen in the last round against Barrowfieldy for the King of Swiss. It can be quite nasty when it gets going, and it can get going quickly. And Dan's is also quite, military focused. It's quite aggressive, as you can probably guess, with Corin, the ambush elements and the burn men. He's running Gregor in this build, and Jamie. So we've got a lot of aggression in there, a lot of red icons. There you go, and Dan's going to go for that double claim effectively.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if he manages to get this miniature challenge through, James is, it's very unlikely he's going to kill Asher for claim, unless he's got a Risen in hand. So, possibly that Shipwright and the,
It's a Wildling Bandit.
That's the one. I knew it was one of the Wildling ones.
So one of them's going to die from, Corin's reaction unless James had the trick in hand.
Yeah. I mean, he's saved a bit of gold there, hasn't he, James? So I'm assuming he's
He could have a crafty nightmares. He runs nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have nightmares. I can't quite say how much gold he's got because he's only put out the bandit, hasn't he?
Well, Dan stole one with the white tree, and he paid 2 for the bandit. Well, he had a Kingsblade as well, didn't he?
No, he didn't set up with anything.
I'm sure he played a Kingsblade.
Okay. There's no character to equal the cost of that, though.
Maybe I misread it. But there's definitely a card under Relentless Assault, and I'm very sure it's a Kingsblade.
Unless Dan treachery to King's Road.
What a bastard! Would he have done that?
Probably, it's Dan.
I can't see a discard part.
Oh! Okay, so winning the military by 5, attempting to put Ash to the sword, but James has used Risen.
Wamma was ready for that.
He was, wasn't he? Using Corin's ability to kill off the Warden Bandit. And then for military claim, taking the Shipwright. So just Asher left, but she's got her little Risen on there now. So she's 5 strength, military and power, and he's going to get those 2 unopposed. Because, there's no one standing.
Well, you saw the last round, Wamma had a really strong turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
No, it looks like he's on the receiving end of a really strong turn 1.
Oh. Put to the torch.
Put to the torch, seemed good.
Oh, so we had 1 gold left over there then.
That worked out nicely with the Rhythm on the sea.
Yeah.
Which means he was always going to claim Asher to get that extra strength, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good call. So he's getting rid of that white tree there.
No econs for you.
No econs for you. To be fair, though, the white tree was stealing econs off of James, so just sort of balancing the board back out, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And then, so the military's done, and then going into the power, which again unopposed. Ashery standing due to her ability. And James is now winning 4-2.
James is winning 4-2, but is he winning really?
Yeah, I mean, James' board is pretty weak. If Dan's running Marched, now would be a tempting time to play it.
Now is a really good time to run Marched.
And especially as he's got that Rose Road and an Ocean Road on the board, so he's got the economy to support himself if he does play Marched.
Yeah.
Because he will get 1 less gold due to the effects of winter.
He has no white tree to sort of supplement that income.
Unless he finds another one.
Yeah. So Dan took this to Batala, this deck. And it went 4-4, which is, not bad. Not bad. It's an average score. I'm sure Dan will probably be quite hard on himself for it, but...
No, I think 4-4 in a big tournament's pretty good. When I go to a tournament, I tend to... I really like to go even, at least. Going even is alright. And even more than that, I'm sort of pretty happy with myself.
I mean, the quality of play at Batala, you have to consider the fact that you will find the best player in every faction.
Yeah, because everyone's travelling there to do it, aren't they? So.
Yeah, if you want to do well, you're going to play the best players. So...
Just looking at the boards a moment here, so James had to discard down to reserve.
Seal of the hand.
Yeah, chucked away a seal there. What do you think about that?
Well, he's focused going to be getting characters on the board, not supplementing the characters he has, especially if he comes up against Marched. So, you know, he's not going to play out a load of chuds and put a seal or a hand on one of them because they're not unique lord or
Yeah.
lady. So yeah, it seems unnecessary for the next couple of rounds at least.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough to say.
Dan's counting the power he doesn't have. Good technique.
Yeah, trying to put off the opponent, right?
You're just showing off. Just going, look, I've got more power up there than you. I don't need to be winning at this stage of the game because I'm still going to crush you.
Is that what it is?
Probably not. But
I was going to say, I'd be surprised if that's actually what he's doing.
is James still looking for more things to discard?
Possibly. He did have to discard quite a lot of cards, didn't he?
This is, of course, the downside of the winter agenda. If you do get caught with cards in hand, you're going to have to discard down. And no one likes to discard cards out of their hand, really, because they're not going to be crap cards, otherwise you would not put them in your deck.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're getting rid of a card that you put in your deck for a specific reason, and unless that specific reason is not going to happen, it's so early in the game that there's so many things that could happen. But like the seal of the hand, that seems a more obvious discard at the moment, judging by the board stack.
Yeah, he's not going to need it as a 50 turn. Like I say, I mean, Asher can restand herself, and it's unlikely he's going to be able to get another big lord or lady on the board.
So do you think Dan's going to march? It seems a favourable trade.
Yeah, I mean, if he's running marched, I would definitely march now. I've got the economy, like you say, we've got the Ocean Road, we've got the Rose Road. So we'd be getting 4 actual gold, so you get 4 from the plot, -1, and then the Rose Road. Plus you've got the Ocean Road reducer, so essentially you've got like 5 economy worth that you can use, plus whatever else you might possibly have in hand.
Yep.
And you know, if he marches, he'll still have Tyrion and Corran on the board. So long as James doesn't play another Barring the Gate, he'll get the 2 gold from Tyrion's intrigue challenges, which would let him throw in a Burned Men or something mid-challenge too, if needed.
True.
So I think if Dan's running marched, it would be a good play right now. Would you agree?
Yeah. You know, there are many options now. You've got so many more plots. He could play something like, you know, Famine.
Yeah.
If he has another Chud to get out, he's got economy to play out Chud and or another Burned Man, for example. And then he'd have that 2 claim, pseudo 3 claim with Corwin if James puts out a non-unique Chud. And that would really put James under a lot of pressure. So he could outwinter James.
I do feel like James is under pressure right now. I mean, he's definitely taking his time to sort of think through what he wants to do.
He knows this is important.
Yeah,
this is an important stage of the game.
Okay, so plots have been chosen. And what have we got? Yeah, March to the Wall. And another Barring the Gates. Okay. Yes, that's a good play by James because, you know, Dan's board has now been limited. But it stops him from, as we said, throwing in anything from, you know, like the 2 gold that Tyrion's going to get for those intrigue challenges.
Yeah.
So it just makes it a little bit more difficult for Dan. And as mentioned, Dan's deck is about sort of throwing things in and out of play a bit. So Barring the Gates is definitely a good call. I'm surprised that James is running 2. Do you think maybe he's trying to counter the new Tinder Marge?
Possibly. It seems like a good play.
Yeah?
Countered her reaction completely.
Because I don't think we saw that many Tinder Marge decks at the actual event, did we?
There were a few. I only played against one of them.
I didn't play against anyone.
No. Yeah, well, he's running 2 Barring the Gates for whatever reason. It is winter traded and it's nice gold for winter plot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, 5 gold for winter plot isn't nothing.
Okay, James' first player, only able to get out Fish Whiskers here. However, there is a winter plot in play, so that does mean that when Fish Whiskers attacks, basically no one's strength is counted?
Yeah, their strength won't be counted.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no point defending because...
Or is it they can't declare any defenders?
Something along those lines. Basically...
We're rubbish at this. Oh, why are we commentating? We're terrible. We don't even know the cards.
We know the majority of the cards. We've got the gist of what they do.
Yeah.
Basically, when Fish Whiskers attacks, you're not going to have defenders, or you're not going to have defenders counting strength. Basically, you're getting an unopposed, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Dan's got some serious firepower now. He's got the Hound, a Ranging Party, Corin, and Tyrion.
How did you fall to that? Did you put a rose?
He did have a Kingsword, yep.
Okay.
So basically, this already looks unassailable, in my opinion. Yeah, Valar can bring it back, but James doesn't have a lot of economy. It's looking tough already.
Yeah, could well, really going to put the pressure on to James here, isn't it? I mean, even if James does a military here and kills off one of the characters, Dan's still getting all three challenges back through.
James doesn't feel pressure. That man's not human.
No?
He's some sort of machine.
He is a very, very good player.
But is he as good as Ryan Wood? That's the question. We should make them play at regional season.
Going with the power challenge here. So James trying to tempt Dan here to kneel someone to defend, but I think Dan isn't going to fall for it. So the power challenge, therefore, unopposed. And Dan was just... Oh, I think Dan got confused here, thinking that he'd done a military challenge. But yeah, so the power challenge, unopposed and claim. So James now on 6 power to Dan's 1. But,
is that the best it gets?
Well, I think Dan's going to come back with a vengeance here, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll want to use the Hound, get the Hound back to hand, safe from the reset. Yeah, and of course he'll want to get the renown on Corin and some money from Tyrion to win Dom. Right?
Yeah, I imagine so. So military from the Hound, which is unopposed, plus the claim of Fish Whiskers.
Poor Fish Whiskers.
And the Hound's
House
forced
Botley
reaction
is
back.
dead.
Forced reaction, Hound's back to hand. Intrigue with Tyrion, receiving the 2 gold from his reaction. Unopposed, plus claim. Just being a little chud there.
Another bandit. See, this is the point with Greyjoy Winter, in that if you do not get King Balon or Euron, you know, one of those two out, the game automatically becomes...
King Balon, huh?
Yeah, King Balon. And the game automatically gets more difficult.
Thanks, Dan. Dan did a power challenge there, and has played Relentless Assault. So he's got unopposed and claim and renown on Corin, and then he's doing a second power challenge, which is again unopposed and claim.
That's a lovely use of Relentless Assault.
That is, isn't it? Well done, Dan.
It can only be better if it was on a 2 claim plot. And more renowned characters.
Yes.
But you know, you have to use it when you can.
Yeah.
There's definitely opportunity there to put himself further ahead.
So we've just finished our Dom, and Dan is now on 9 to James's 4. Are you expecting a Valar here, maybe?
From James?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, like, economy-wise, I don't think he could really support himself with a Valar.
Yeah, he'd only get 3 gold.
It's not really a lot to recover from one. It's not like he's got any characters to save on the board.
He'll have no claim for the round.
Yeah, that's true as well. Let's see what he does play. Okay, so he is going Valar, and Dan's playing out Noble.
If he doesn't Valar, you know, Dan wins that turn, doesn't he?
Pretty much,
because
yeah.
he's going to get all his challenges through.
Yeah.
It'd be very difficult for Dan not to win that turn.
But James does get the choice on who goes first here, right? Because it's Noble to Valar.
Yeah, James gets to choose.
But he's chosen Dan to go first.
Okay. That's cool.
So Dan losing 2 power there, with Corin dying. I'm not sure what Dan's considering here. He's not got anything to save him, has he?
I know what he's considering.
Do you?
Secret tech.
Secret tech?
Maybe, I don't know, Ghosts of Harrenhal. He's very, considering the order he places them in the dead pile. So yeah, so that seemed very considered, very deliberate. It screams out Ghosts of Harrenhal. So anyone, I urge you, if you get Valar, just check to see if your opponent takes great care in seeing in what position they place their characters in that dead pile. Yeah. That's a surefire way to say they're running Ghost, or they're really thinking that you're going to play Ghost. So one way or the other, it's definitely on the mind.
Thing is, though, when I'm sort of planning to play Ghosts, my big problem is I think, people know that I'm going to be playing Ghosts, so they're going to play Barring the Gates. So what I try and do is, as silly as it sounds, I try to deliberately not play Ghosts that turn, make sure no one dies, and plays it the next turn instead.
Make sure no one dies is a risky play.
Yes, I know, but I always panic that someone's going to play Barring the Gates and stop me from jumping my person in. And a couple of times I've actually, like, psyched myself out doing that and just not been able to do anything.
Just play it.
I know.
Just play it.
I know I probably should, but...
Play your game. Oh, the mountain.
So, James doesn't have any characters on the board. We've got a power challenge from the ranging party, which is unopposed plus claim. And then the mountain coming in here with a military, again unopposed, renown, and keywords pillage. What's he gonna get?
Oh wow, he took a boat. James will be probably quite relieved because a boat is not going to help him come back in any way, shape or form.
No. So it's probably quite a nice pillage from James's deck there. It means that James might be more likely to get something he actually wants.
Yeah.
And James winning Dom there because he didn't spend any of the gold during the challenges phase.
Has Dan won? He basically won, hasn't he?
I think if James comes back from this in the 4 or 5 minutes that are left of the video, I will be very, very impressed.
Well, he's going to play something with higher gold, I'd imagine. He's got a King's Road and a Rose Road. He can now put some people out on the board if he has people in hand to play out. He's got Noble Cause, so he might have a person.
Yeah, it looks like that. But Dan's trying to counter that by playing Famine.
Yeah, Dan probably saw this coming as well.
Yeah. Although no ghosts. I was half expecting a ghost there.
Doesn't need to play it.
No, he doesn't need to at this point, does he?
It's probably a better play, to play Famine at this stage and restrict James's ability to put things on the board rather than play Ghost, bring out Fish Whiskers and Tyrion.
Yeah.
It seems a bit too even. It's not in Dan's favour to play Ghost.
Yeah. There's no one particularly big on the board.
King Balon!
Oh!
What?
You love your King Balon, don't you?
He's good. He's really, really good.
And he's duped.
He's better when he's duped.
Yeah. He's not going in for a little while.
He is good. For a character that you can use in 2 challenges a round, he's very good.
Yeah. Like I think we mentioned before, but I wasn't sold on King Balon until Richard played him against me and won with like 8 power on Balon or something. I was like, for God's sakes.
He's good. He's really good. I still urge people to try him.
Yeah. You don't know you don't like it until you try it, right?
Well, that is one saying, I suppose. Interesting choice, but yeah.
It's true.
Okay, I believe.
Alright, so we've got King Balon duped on James's side against the Mountain, a ranging party, the Hound, and a little Messenger Raven. That's Messenger Raven, right?
It is.
Cool.
Yeah.
On Dan's side.
Because Dan's extremely worried about his card draw at this stage.
I'm sure
I can tell you he's extremely worried.
So I did tell James to make sure it's obvious what you're doing if you're on camera. So that's why he's very emphatically doing a military challenge with non-kneeling Balon.
That is really emphatic.
It was a bit. I think he was a little bit excited.
See, I told you Dan really valued his draw. He's really hoping to save that Messenger Raven. He doesn't want to take the Raven for claim. It's a very important Raven to him.
Or you could argue that the military challenge is for 5 strength, and James has gold remaining, so maybe,
It's probably not even that. I swear to God, Dan is the kind of guy who would name his Messenger Ravens. He's probably got names for all of them.
Dave,
yeah. Only
Fred.
He wouldn't be able to mark his card so he could tell which one is which, could he?
No, of course not. Unless, have you seen those little sticker things that you can put on your cards now, on the actual people, like moustaches and stuff?
I think that was Simon Hansen from Denmark, maybe. He turns up with all these little tokens, the hats and moustaches. And...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed them.
If it is him, let us know.
Is it just We Do Not Sow the Rose Road?
Yep. A little bit, late at this stage of the game, but he's going to use it regardless. Why not?
I think he was just getting a little bit excited there, wasn't he?
Of course.
But, up to 7. Not too bad.
Well, it's not too bad, that's true.
Alright, so Dan's challenge is now He's going to get an unopposed power through.
You're going to despoil him.
Just a little bit. So unopposed and claim.
Is this it?
Might be.
Is this it?
Remembering it is famine, so does have to the 2 claim there.
Well, 2 claim
Unopposed
military doesn't matter, does it?
No, I was referring to the power challenge more
Ah,
than anything.
cool. Yeah.
Wanting to do the pillage first, just to see if they can get the other Bale on.
You're on. Oh.
And then the renown on the mountain for the win.
Well,
So, good game.
well done, Dan.
Well done, Dan. You
You're a
did
hero.
Good job.
The Lord of Lit wins again.
So, yeah, Dan wins there. 15-5 in the end with his Night's Watch line deck. And so watch the next game to, well, see the next game. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.